All right, all right. It is 11:55, so we still have a few minutes before kicking off to our 12 o'clock session. So as the session is going, getting together and populating, I'm just going to hang out here for a second and say hello to you as you join in. Good to see you. We're on TikTok and Facebook and YouTube going live. So we're everywhere. We're going live everywhere. You know why? Because the whole purpose of this weight loss love story challenge is to impact as many lives as possible, to encourage as many people as possible that are on this weight loss journey, that are beginning the weight loss journey or rebooting it. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Like I said, it's 11:50. Hey, Brett, it's 11:55, 11:56. So we're going to actually kick off at 12 o'clock. I don't want to start earlier than that because that's the time I said we were going to start. So like to be faithful to the time that I said. So hello, hello. Thanks for that. What's that? Lit Culture? I didn't see the whole name, but thanks for saying that you like my shirt. I appreciate that. So good to see everybody. Thank you for joining in. Like I said, it'll just be a couple more minutes before we go live at 12 o'clock. So I'll just recap the morning a little bit. We were talking this morning about the weight loss journey and really digging into the mindset. So we're going to continue that today at 12, just talking about mindset and how to move forward in the weight loss process, because sometimes we just get stuck. And so thanks for complimenting the shirt. The shirt is going over well. I'm glad you all like it. Good to see everybody. Red Yamaha, good to see you. So like I said, we are on right now, we're on TikTok, we are on Facebook, we are on YouTube. And if you want to be officially a part of the challenge, you can go to weightlosslovestory.com to get registered, to get officially registered. You'll be in the challenge. You can go into the private Facebook group. In the Facebook group, I have posted every day for the 5 days of this challenge. I'll be posting worksheets for us to complete together, and I'll be sharing information for you to document and keep. So weight loss love story challenge. Somebody can throw it in the chat sections, and then that way you can be officially connected, be in and receive. Hey, Ruby, you can receive the information that I'll be sending out. And then also within the private Facebook group, people are going live and they're sharing their takeaways, and we're really building a small and private community in there where you get to share about your journey. There'll be things that I'm asking and ways for us to engage even on another level inside the private Facebook group. So weight loss love story challenge.com. Go in there and be a part of that community. We'll get rocking and rolling here in 2 minutes. Well, 1 minute. It's 11:59. So right at 12, we're going to kick off. So don't get comfortable. I don't want you comfortable. I want you on the edge of your seat. So you want a shirt like this, Willow E? All right. I'm going to make these shirts available later on this week. Shirts will be available so that if you do want a shirt, you'll be able to get a shirt. So I am going to make those available. A few other people have actually asked about shirts as well. So, all right, 11:59. I'm like that bull inside the ring. You know, when they get ready to open the door, I want to hit it at 12 o'clock. We're going to go 30 minutes. 30 minutes is what I promised you. So we're going to go from 12 to 12:30. And then our final session for today will be from 9 to 9:30 p.m. And I did it that way with a 9 a.m. session, a 12 p.m. session, and a 9 p.m. session, so that people all over the world could join in live wherever they may be. It's a lot more work, but I love it. I love being here. I love connecting and encouraging you and building you up. And it is 12 o'clock. So we get to get this party jumping right now. So officially welcome it to the 12 o'clock session number 2 for today of the Weight Loss Love Story Challenge. In this challenge, we are beginning our weight loss journey or rebooting our weight loss journey. And we are going at 100% being invested in transforming our lives. Before we get started, I want to say a quick prayer. I hope you don't mind. This is the way I am. So I want to share it with you. So Father, thank you for this opportunity to be together in this session number 2. I pray that things that are done, things that are heard would be encouraging to someone's life. The information would be life-changing so that someone could take what they hear, apply it to their life, and see their lives forever changed. Thank you so much for these moments. We ask that you bless them in Jesus' name. Amen. So This morning we talked about the beginning of the process, the mindset, and on the worksheet, I put on this beginning worksheet something for you to do, to make a commitment to yourself, to sign a contract with yourself, not for me, not for anybody else. You're writing your own love story, right? Your weight loss journey, your transformation is your own story. I highlighted the Cinderella story, the story of Cinderella, and thus Cinderella Strong, and how for me, that young girl story, because someone on my block said, I feel like Cinderella in my own home. That woman's statement sent me to get the movie. I bought the DVD, I watched it, and I began studying it over and over and over and over again. I wanted to know why women felt this way. Why did they connect to this young girl? And at the same time, I would read my Bible, I'm studying my Bible, and there's a scripture in the Bible that says that God will give us beauty for ashes. Cinderella, cinder, something that was once on fire and it's dwindled down, but it still has the possibility of catching flame. Ella, the word that means beauty, in one name, Cinderella, beauty for ashes, right there. And I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, that's pretty decent. That's pretty cool that's right there. And so for me, being a trainer and having my own training facility where I was helping women physically, I approached it from the standpoint of letting a woman know that she was powerful enough to transform her life, to take the ashes of the situation and make an exchange for beauty. That you can turn your life around and strong, that you are strong enough to change your life. That's what it means. That's where the story comes from. That's where Cinderella Strong comes from. At the same time, I was at the lowest point of my life, depressed and ready to give up, praying to God that I would die. That's where I was at. I was ashamed of being alive. I felt like I had nothing to give. I wanted to die. And I would pray for it. I was like, I'm not going to kill myself. But God, if you take me out, if you just cause me to stop breathing, I can at least die honorably. Right? Real talk. I'm going to be real with you, because this issue, what I know from training women for years and years and years, what I know is that when a woman walked in and she wanted to change her body, sometimes the weight, not just the weight of the body, but the weight of the experience was so much that depression was there. She might have wanted to give up, might not have wanted to interact with people. There was this shame that would just hover over, and we carry the weight of shame. Like I said earlier, I've never had a actual like physical weight problem where I felt like I needed to lose, a whole lot of weight or anything like that. That's never been my issue. But I know what it's like to carry the weight of shame. And so when I was connected with, I call them my ladies or my girls, I'm connected with my girls and I'm sharing in the gym and I'm training and I'm saying, hey, look, you can change your life. I, at times, would have to dig into my story and say, look, I know what you feel. I know the weight of shame can be a lot. I know, like I said earlier, there was a woman that said, I don't want my children to be embarrassed by me. I'm like, I understand the shame of the embarrassment. And so for me, at a low point in life, where I was depressed, I was in a dark place, I felt like I was in a cave, and I described myself as a wounded lion in a cave bleeding out. I felt like I didn't want to interact, but yet I was here in the gym and I'm training these people, but I didn't want to serve. I just kind of wanted to just be in my own head, in my own space. But as I started to serve, and I saw these women that weren't being served in the gym, and I started reaching out and I said, you know what, I can help you. I noticed that I started healing. I started changing. As I was developing a community, here I am. I'm just going to keep it 100. And I don't want anybody to be super sensitive about what I say. I got to tell you my story the way it is, because this is it for me. Here I am as a man training women to transform their lives. What? Doesn't seem normal at first. A lot of my clients didn't have the same shade of skin as me either. So now all the dynamics are really interesting. Here they are. I'm an athlete. I've been an athlete my whole life, and I'm working with women that are saying they want to lose 40, 50, 100 plus pounds. So here I am in this situation. It's a contradiction. All of the things seem to be contradicting each other, but yet building community, yet being connected to one another, yet caring in spite of all the differences was making a world of difference. Let me just tell you, here's something for you to write down. you get to begin caring for yourself in the midst of this situation where it seems like a contradiction. This is your moment. Yeah, you have whatever the scale says, that's what it says. Whatever you've been thinking about yourself, that's what you've been thinking. But right now, today, in this moment, you are walking in with a dream to this moment to create a conflict. You are about to say something, do something, develop your life in such a way that you are going to be in conflict to what is existing. And this is good stuff. It's good. I'm telling you, it is good. And your life is changing right now. See, sometimes we begin looking at ourselves and I know it's easy, like, oh, can we just get to the exercise stuff? Oh, no, this is an exercise. Let me just tell you, when you've been depressed for a long time, when you've been hurting for a long time, when you've been down and discouraged for a long time, when you've been beating yourself up with words for a long time, do you know that you have to start exercising a different thought? It's a different thought. See, it's a different thought for you to say, I'm going to show up, because prior to today, there was no live at 12 o'clock. You decided you were going to show up right now. Your thought triggered an action that's changing your life right now. This is how good this is. You are writing the next chapter of your love story right now. Right now. You probably didn't even recognize it, but you are doing something on purpose right now. And you know what? Will it show up on the scale right now? No, it's not. It's not. But it'll show up in your future if you keep the course, if you stay the course. But we got to be real first before we can just go off and I work with my ladies. I'm like, look, we're going to be 100% real. We're going to address real things. I was always told, you can't ask a woman how much she weighs. Yeah, okay. I'm like, day one. Like from the jump, we start working together. I'm asking you. I'm like, not only am I asking you, I used to have the scale right there. I'm like, all right, get up. They would be terrified. They're like, I'm not getting on the scale in front of you. I'm like, but you are. You're going to. You know why? Because you showed up for me to help you, and you believe in me, and you know you're safe. And they would stand on the scale. Some of them, they would say, I don't even want to see it. I don't even want to see it. I'd be like, you know what? Look down and see it. Because it's a temporary moment. What you see on the scale, it's a temporary moment. What you see in your life right now, it's a temporary moment. It does not have to be eternal. But you do have to get into the right environment, and you have to get around the right people to begin nurturing change. So I say, get on the scale. See what you see today. And guess what? This enemy, we're going to change this. We're going to do this together. I have no doubts about the scale. See, I know we're going to change. You know why? Because if you sow a seed of health and you continue to nurture it and you continue to plant and you continue to grow and you continue to garden it, seeds of health don't produce sickness. Seeds of health produce health. And the more conscious you become about the seed, the more healthy you're going to become because you're fully engaged with it, excuse me. So when you plant and you grow, when you take action and you support it, your life is going to change. So today and throughout this week, we are going to address the physical actions to do, activities, way to move our body and all that. But today, we're going to spend some time just really focusing on, let's get our minds right. Because what we're doing with our mindset is we're building up walls of defense. Because when you start the physical journey, let me ask you this. Let's step back for a second. How many of us, right? You can put it in the chat somewhere. How many of us know to do better? Like, how many of us know better? Like, we know better, right? We know, right? I know. Like, over the weekend on Saturday, I ate like 4 Reese cups. I know Reese cups aren't nutritious. They're just good, right? They're just delicious. I just like Reese cups. I know, right? I know that they weren't good for me. I know that I could do better. I know better than that. But I didn't do better. I ate the Reese cups. And I probably would have ate 2 more, which would have made it 6, if one of them didn't belong to a little girl who texted me after she had left it, like, can you save my Reese cup? I was like, oh, man. I was like lusting after that Reese cup. I was going to eat her too as well. But so here it is. I know better. I wasn't doing better. Okay. So here's what we know. We all know better. So the reason that our bodies isn't changing isn't because of information. We all have information. We can Google it. Truth be told, as a person that trains people and coaches people, you can find out everything that I know. Like everything is there. It's all available. It's all available. We all can get the same stuff. We can all get the same information. But what's the change? For one, while you're doing what you're doing, I go and find information so I can bring it back to you. For two, right? You get to be a part of something. Three, you get to be accountable. Four, I'm going to talk to you about other things other than just your body, right? So there's more stuff to it. So let's just jump into this today. Again, I'm going to touch on sometimes, and I hope you're good with it because it's going to be this way anyway. I'm going to touch on the Bible sometimes because for me, that helped me, okay? And what I say, I believe it'll help you. So don't just immediately throw up your like defense and be like, he said the Bible. No, don't do that, right? So here's where we're going to start off. There's this part in the Bible, and you're probably going to hear it differently than ever before because that's the way I look at it. So there's this part in the Bible, right, in the beginning, where the man, Adam and Eve, they were together. And it says that the man and his wife, right, were together and they were naked and they were not ashamed. So for this session of this training, we're going to deal with, and we're going to touch on this topic of naked. Here's why. When I train, when I encourage people, when I'm helping people make transformation, I'm not really worried about you in your clothes, right? Like we can all kind of do things to make ourselves look a certain kind of way in clothes, right? We can put on, things that like tighten us up and bring us in and hold us, and we can do that, right? So that's available. There are things, gadgets. So my thing was, but I saw this in the Bible and was like, man, they were naked and not ashamed. And I'm not telling you go run around naked. But when you're with yourself, or can you be naked and not ashamed? What I found for a lot of people was whether physical, emotional, mental, financial, we have aspects of our life when we look at ourselves, we're ashamed. When we see, here's the thing, we really know ourselves. When you get out of the shower, or you get out of the bath, and you step out and you walk past the mirror and you see yourself, you are there by yourself and you can look and you know what you think, right? You know if you are completely looking at yourself completely and not ashamed. There's a woman that I worked with and we started working together and she told me, she says, Brian, she says, I haven't looked in a mirror in over 2 years. I said, what? She said, I have not looked at myself in a mirror in over 2 years. First of all, I didn't even know how. I was like, how can you even? She's like, I don't even have them. I don't even have them in my house. I don't look at myself. I won't do it. So clearly, she didn't feel good about herself. And many of us don't. When I was going through a divorce, when I was praying to die, I didn't feel good about myself. I wasn't like, here I am, look at me, world. No, I wasn't posting on social media. No, I wanted to hide. I wanted to be in the cave. When I looked at myself, I was ashamed. Real talk. I was ashamed. I was ashamed of me. And the more that shame mounted, the less and less I was caring about taking care of my body. I actually, as a stress non-eater, that's what I am, a stress non-eater, I wouldn't eat. I was like, I'm going to eat less and less and less and less. Because the stress and the shame was so much. I was then doing damage to my body because I didn't care. And I could say that I cared, like, oh yeah, I absolutely care, but I didn't. See, care says I'm going to do something in favor of a particular outcome. I am caring for myself. I am caring for my health. I am doing something that's in favor of a particular outcome. I wasn't caring, so I didn't care. And so sometimes we have to be honest. Not sometimes, all the times. We have to be honest. And we have to say, you know what? I really don't care. And as we start to have the dialogue and conversation, it will change you. When you start to say, no, you know what? I don't care about myself. Then you're like, oh man, that's real. Like I am hurting myself. The more honest you become, that honesty is going to help you. So on the worksheet today, I asked you flat out to fill in the blank. When I look at myself, I feel these. When I look at myself naked, I feel these feelings. See, this is between you and you. This isn't for the world. Like, no. This is for you. When I look at myself naked, I feel these feelings. What is it that you feel? What are you saying to yourself when you are there with yourself? Like, this is where you get to be honest, right? Like, you just get to be honest, put down your thoughts. You might say, like, look, I look at myself and I'm smoking hot and I love it. Like, write that down. Write down what you feel. Like, that's the worksheet is on in the Facebook group. So if you've registered for the challenge and you go into the Facebook group, it's in there in the guide section. So, like, and I ask this question, when I see myself in pictures or in a mirror, I think this. Like, just be really honest. Another thing says, these are the words I use to describe myself. Like, what is it? And even if you don't have the worksheet, just you write down, like, when I look at myself, what do I see? How do I talk to myself? Because here's the deal. Your issue, the struggle that you're having with your body, for most people, is not a physical issue. It's a relational issue. Your relationship to yourself, to your body, to your mind is, dare I say, horrible. Sorry. Not sorry. It's probably horrible. It's a good chance that you are a terrible relationship partner. I'm here on behalf of your body to speak up for her. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to respond to you the way after you say what you say to me. So I'm your body. I'm going to speak for your body. And you tell your body, I want you to lose weight. Like, I just want to lose weight. And you know what she says? Your body says, girl, please. You don't get to talk to me that way. You don't get to now, after doing what you were doing, giving me that meal, giving me that diet, like after not eating this and after doing this and after stressing me out, you do not, I'm giving your body a little sass. You do not get to tell me that now you want me to lose weight and you've been mistreating me for a long time. You don't get to tell me that. So your body is like, girl, no, that's not how you're going to approach me, which makes total sense, right? Because imagine someone you're in a relationship, a romantic relationship with someone, and they walk in from the jump and they say, hey, I want you to change. Okay. I want you to change. That's what I want you to do. All of us are going to have, we're going to reject that. Like, wait, no, no, you're not going to start the relationship just walking in telling me you want to change. Like, no, that's not how this works. Right. No one is just giving someone, I couldn't do that as a trainer. That would be ridiculous. Hey, I want you to change your diet. I want you to change this. I want you to, nope, not doing that. You got to build a relationship with yourself where you say, you know what, before I ask you to change, before I ask you to lose weight, I just want to show up for you. I'm not going to ask you for anything. I'm not going to ask you for change. I'm going to show up consistently and care for you. And I believe, and this is what I'm going to tell you, if you show up consistently and care for your body, invest in caring for your body consistently, then something is going to happen, right? You're planting healthy seeds. You're caring. You're going through the work. Something is going to happen to the positive. Because you are developing, here comes a discipline of care, of understanding, of working and operating with wisdom. You're developing a discipline. And so many people, so many of the women I've worked with, they say, oh, I'm just not disciplined. Wrong. That's incorrect. It's not correct. If you ever felt like you weren't disciplined, let me just show you something. Everyone is disciplined. Some people, some of us, we're just more disciplined to the negative. Hold on one second. I'm just trying to, for some reason, the TikTok one was going, the battery's running dead. Some people are more disciplined to the negative outcome than they are to the positive outcome. Some of us are more disciplined to the undesired thing than we are to the desired. See, if we discipline ourselves towards the desire, then we'll see the desires, we'll see those outcomes. But when we don't have a structure, When we don't put things in order, when we don't repeat the actions over and over through discipline, then we just end up with this random outcome. And it's like, oh, that's not really what I wanted. Most people don't say, hey, I want to just pack on weight, during the pandemic, and I just want to keep gaining, weight out of control. No, we don't really say that a lot of times. Maybe somebody does, but I've never had that. I've never had someone say, hey, I just wanted to pack on a lot of weight. No, they say, most of the time they say, I don't know how I got here. I just don't know. Meaning there was no plan. There was no discipline. Right? And so what we do is we are already disciplined. Now we just change the discipline direction. The direction of the discipline just goes in a different way. So you can do it. So sometimes we have these limiting beliefs that we can't do it, that it's too hard, that I failed before, right? Those are limiting beliefs. Those are beliefs that are going to tell you that you have to stop. You can't go any higher than here. And so if you approach training and exercise and your wellness with a limiting belief, telling yourself, this is what I need you to do, you're going to burn out. You're not going to sustain that. Because honestly, that's an unhealthy approach to any relationship at all. Think about it. Here's my approach to this relationship. I'm going to approach you with no real discipline for how I'm going to interact with you, but I'm going to place demands on you and ask you to change. And if you don't change, I'm going to insult you for changing. And if you don't change, I'm going to be ashamed of you because you didn't change. And if we don't change, then I'm going to talk bad about you because you don't change. But meanwhile, don't expect any discipline from me. Don't expect any regular care from me. That's not healthy. None of us want that. Your body doesn't want that. Your body does not want to be told. Your body does not want you looking at it, feeling like, you're so disgusting. I hate the way you look in those pants. You're so fat. You're gross. Nobody would ever love you looking like that. I'm so ashamed of you. Your body doesn't want that. And so, the reason this is a weight loss love story is because now it's time to change the narrative. It's time to have a different conversation on purpose, being disciplined to it. Look, if you stop telling yourself that, those negative things that you say, will that make weight drop off you in that overnight? Are you going to wake up in the morning and be like, oh, I just lost all the weight because I stopped saying that? No, that's not what's going to happen. But let me tell you something. Stress and the negativity that you are speaking and thinking in your life, it is having an effect on your physical being. It does. I have so many stories. There was a woman that I was training that she was in this relationship with this guy. And the relationship was kind of abusive. And she had been wanting to lose weight, wanting to exercise, and she had been being faithful to it, but she just wouldn't lose any weight. Let me just tell you, her daughter at the same time for years had been nonverbal, couldn't talk, wouldn't talk. She breaks up with the dude. She breaks up with this guy, starts losing weight. Her daughter starts talking. Her daughter starts having conversation. See, the negativity in our space has an impact. I'm not making this one up. No. This is real stuff. We are holding on to things that are impacting us in such a way that is killing us. That shame, when you look at yourself with the disgust, it's killing you. I could tell you to exercise, to do burpees and push-ups, and you can go jogging and walking. You don't need me for that. You can go find that stuff. But until we deal with the shame, until we deal with the pain of the situation, until we deal with why are we here? we won't change. And so, like, I just want to simply encourage you to understand that as we're going through this challenge this week, you are in a community that is supportive because other people are on the journey. You have someone that is sharing with you that is 100% for you. Like, I want you to win. I want you to change. I want you to transform. Honestly, later on in the week, I am going to present to you an opportunity to work with me. And yes, it'll have a cost. It'll be a training program. But this is how I feed my family and take care of my family. So that's okay. But this is still free. And I'm in. Whether or not you choose that, I'm all in for you this week. And you've seen me on social media. We're together. You know I'm in for you. I want you to win. But that's just another level of, closeness, engagement. So I just want to put that out there ahead of time. So, like, yeah, that'll be there. But I need you fully invested because I'm all in. I set this up on purpose from 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. and 9 p.m. because I wanted people all around the world to have a chance. See, for me, this is a matter of life and death. It's a matter of life and death. It's that serious to me. I'm going to tell you, I struggled with this. I struggled being back here, sharing, because when the pandemic hit and I had to close my facility, I chose to close the facility not knowing what was going to happen. I was like, I don't know if I'm ever going to go back to training and helping people that way. I felt a little bit useless. Let me just tell you the level. I used to put myself down about this. I'm being so honest. So, like, no, this is a real story. See, this is part of my love story. See, as a Black man, I had a struggle. I struggled with doing the physical, right? Because I felt like, oh, I'll only ever be seen as like a personal trainer. Like, no one's going to see me for my mind. Or, like, oh, Black guys can only be athletes, entertainers. That's it. That's the only thing I can be. That's the only thing people will see me as. So I struggled. Even though I was helping people change their lives, I was struggling. And so when the pandemic hit and I closed my building, I was like, I don't know if I'll ever go back to that. Because I felt like it wasn't good enough. I felt like I wasn't making an impact in the world. This is real, so real. So I had to, this past year, going through the pandemic, I was like wrestling with this. And then some things started happening in the last month and a half. I said this morning, my dad had a stroke. One of the sisters, I call you all sisters, one of the sisters of the sisterhood, she had a stroke. She sent me a message and she was like, she calls me coach. She's like, Coach, I had a stroke. And she's really battling. She's battling to lose over 100 pounds. And she's done that since we've been working together. And so I was like, all right, it's a moment of truth. I can either walk away or I got to go all in. And so you all have seen me doing some things, and now you get a little backstory. And I'm going to have to cut it because it's 12:29. But changing the farm name and everything like that, it's been all because I'm bringing it all back together to serve. Like, I was telling someone last night, I want the farm to be a place where someone that wants to transform their life, they can show up and be here and have 3-day experiences and they can be here. But what I'm telling you this for is because a part of my love story was that I was giving up on stuff because it seemed like I just kept taking hits. I was married, I was divorced. I built a business, the business closed. I built another business, a global pandemic hits. I was like, are you for real? Can I catch a break? So sometimes you want to give up. Sometimes your story has so many things in it that you feel like there's no chance I'm going to win. There's no chance of me being successful. I have no chance. I'm losing. This is what I was saying to me. I'm losing. Right? And then I remembered this about Cinderella. It was in the moment that everything was stripped away from her. Right? She was prepared. She thought she was going to the ball. She gets jumped. Everything gets stripped away from her. It's in that moment that she runs out crying. And then she has an interaction, an engagement, a moment with someone that helps her change her life. She meets the fairy godmother. Like those moments are real. I believe this is such a moment. I believe this is a life-changing moment because I believe that you've probably faced a moment where things have been stripped away from you. Opportunities, joy, experiences, feeling good about yourself. There have been some things, relationships, maybe a marriage, whatever, a loss of a loved one. Some things have been stripped away from you. I'm telling you, this is a transformational moment. Transformational moment. And the reason I know is because this is the story. I've been living the story. It's been changing. And so I'm able to share with you because this is the process. This is how you're going to take the weight off. Yes, the physical weight is going to come off because you're changing your mindset. You're going to have a whole new discipline and a whole new approach. You're going to be so real and authentic with yourself. You're not going to have to do what you do in the privacy of your home and hide or go to food. So many people have told me, like, I go to food. That's my what do you call it? My comfort. That's where I find comfort in my food. No, that's not going to be your comfort. You're going to find comfort in living. You're going to find comfort in being uncomfortable for a while, where you say, I'm fully committed to the conflict of change. And we're going to do this. We're going to do it. So I want you, as you go through and you think about what are the things that you say about yourself? How do you feel about yourself when you're naked? Like, what are the words that you use to describe yourself? As you think about these things, I want you to also think about the conversation changing, the narrative changing, right? Like we're changing the narrative. It does not happen immediately. It'll happen though, because we'll just keep on saying it. I'm going to tell you every time you see me that you are beautiful and that you are amazing and that you are strong. The ladies of Cinderella, you run into a woman of Cinderella strong, you ask her 3 things you know about yourself. I am beautiful, I'm amazing, I'm strong. Yeah. And what does it mean to be beautiful? When I am myself to the fullest, I am beautiful. See? When I am myself to the fullest, not when I am this way, when I am wearing this outfit. No, when I am myself to the fullest. In this moment, whoever you are, wherever you're at, in this moment, there's more of you that is yet to come alive. And so if we can start tapping into that place and discover you, game changer. Why do I slow down and say discover? Because dis means not. Cover means conceal. My dad's calling me. Cover means conceal. Dis means not. Cover means conceal. We are no longer going to conceal ourselves. Okay? You're going to discover the best of yourself, and you're strong enough to do so. So that's going to wrap it up for session number 2. If you haven't joined in on the Facebook page, you can do so. You can join the challenge officially by going to weightlosslovestory.com and get registered. It'll take you through the process. You'll be able to get there, get the worksheets that I'll post every day. I'll be sharing on these platforms live, but in the Facebook group is where the community is really gathering. I'll be able to share a little bit more in depth. So weightlosslovestory.com. We're going to do it all week, so you might as well be fully engaged. Like go all in. Go all in. We'll be back tonight at 9 p.m. from 9 to 9:30 for our evening session. We're going to talk mindset and meals, nourishing our health. So we'll be back for that. So come back, join me at 9 p.m. I love you all very much. I'm B.A. Shepherd, 2 P's A-R-D, reminding you to be a shepherd. The world has enough sheep. You are beautiful. You are amazing. And you are strong. I love you very much. See ya.